Hi everyone, this is Representative Buddy Mincy Jr. I represent the Denham Springs and Walker area, and I'm here today to talk to you about a very important topic. According to the 2020 census, Louisiana is the third hungriest state in the nation. This means 1 in 4 children are living in a food insecure home. Food insecurity is simply put, a lack of access to affordable and nutritious food. Livingston Parish Public Schools have over 26,000 students, and approximately 7,825 of those students fall under the definition of food insecure. This is why Mighty Moms started the Full Tummy Project in 2010. For more information on Mighty Moms and the Full Tummy Project, visit mightymomsgo.org and find out how you can sponsor a child for the 2021 school year and help us end childhood hunger in our community.
Are you pregnant? Or do you know someone that's pregnant? Well, we have the perfect place for you. Look at Me 4D Imaging has you covered right here in Livingston Parish to get your next ultrasound or find out the gender of your baby. Look at Me 4D Imaging offers a newborn baby boutique, gender reveal supplies, keepsake heartbeat animals, same day and next day appointments, and they are conveniently located right in the heart of the town of Livingston. They are here to help capture your memories that will last a lifetime for expecting moms and their families. Miss Anna would love to introduce you to your baby. Check them out on Facebook or visit their website at lookatme4dimaging.com to see what they have to offer, or give them a call at area code 225-435-9749. Look at Me 4D Imaging, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. You have heard me say many times on this show that, in my opinion, the top 3 COVID-affected businesses were beauty shops, event venues, and restaurants. My guest for today actually owned 2 of those 3 businesses. Daren and Dan Bourgeois own both Events at Serenity, located in Denham Springs, just short of Watson, and Avenue Allure, located in the Denham Springs Antique District. Today, we're going to learn about them, their businesses, and how, with a never quit attitude and a strong faith in God, as well as a belief in each other, they were able to keep their businesses surviving even in the face of a pandemic. So with that, welcome Daren and Dan to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
I'm excited to have y'all on today. Now, some of you out there may be looking and saying, wait a minute, I've seen that dude on here before. Indeed, you have. Dan is actually a dad of Denham and was and joined us when we did the Dads of Denham podcast just a few months ago. So you fired up for the new season?
Always fired up for them jackets.
Oh yeah. They got a rivalry coming in town this weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It'll be tough, but we'll be out there with the purple and gold and the jambalaya and all that kind of stuff. So today is all about the 2 of you and your wonderful businesses, which both offer some amazing services. Now we're gonna get to know all about that. We're gonna talk about Avenue Allure. We're gonna really talk about Serenity because I went by there and was just absolutely blown away. So you folks, I took some pictures and I'm going to post them as we're talking about Serenity. So they'll actually pop up and y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. So Miss Daren, you have not been on this podcast before.
No, sir.
First time, and you are excited.
Yeah.
For lack of a better adjective.
Yes, sir. I'll warm up in a little bit.
So tell everyone where you were born and raised, because everybody knows about Dan. We don't even know nothing about him. Where were you born and raised?
My parents were, my dad was in the Air Force when I was born. I was actually born on an Air Force base in Almaguerta, New Mexico.
Awesome.
We lived there for a couple of years, and then both my mom and my dad's family were from North Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I spent some time there, and then eventually we landed right in North Baton Rouge in Brownsville. So
yeah.
People just call it Baker, but it's
yep.
a little town called Brownsville. And stayed there until I married Danny in 1995, went to Redemptorist High School.
1995. You went to Redemptress.
Yes, sir.
Go Wolves, I guess.
I know. Wow, yeah, they're gone now, but yeah.
Yeah. So you married this guy in 1995. So that's what, 27 years? 26 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great marriage there. I'd say y'all know each other pretty good, right? After that length of time.
Pretty much.
Excellent. Been through a lot together,
Sir.
especially the last several years
Yes, sir.
with everything that's been going on. Now, one thing I found interesting about you, and we're going to kind of take, you have two businesses. You have Avenue Allure and you have Serenity, and we want to provide a focus on both of those.
Yes, sir.
So one thing that's interesting with you is your love for dance. You
Right.
actually have been dancing since the age of 2.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And you're only 18. So, I
No.
mean,
No, I'm still 47 for a couple more months.
there
So,
you-
yeah,
look, welcome to the club.
yeah, it's about 45 years of dance. So
Yeah.
I don't get to teach as much as I would like to anymore. You know, when you step into the leader and the ownership, all of the dance and the fun that I used to have and the exercise, it's in the past right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a tap master
I
hear.
some people seem to think that, but I do all right. I do all right. I was showing you my pictures of my tap shoes. They're
Yes.
held together with duct tape. So
Yeah.
that's
Amazing.
not a lot of people like to tap anymore. It's just me and my goddaughter Carmen are pretty much the two that still tap there. Everybody else is great in their fields, but not many tappers anymore.
Who, in your opinion, was the greatest tapper of all time?
Gregory Hines.
Yeah, he was good, huh?
Gregory Hines. I mean, we do a tribute to him, at least a shout out on social media every year on Gregory Hines Day. It's the anniversary of the day he died, I believe, but he was great. I mean, he's back in the 80s, there was a movie he did with Mikhail Baryshnikov, and you got to see Mikhail Baryshnikov tap, and you got to see Gregory Hines do ballet, and it was really good. It was really, really good.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. And I saw that movie.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember that.
I mean, the storyline was kind of slow, but the dance in it was fantastic.
Yeah. How about Sammy Davis Jr.?
Well, of
Good
course.
tapper, huh?
Yeah, you can actually, if you look, you can find a video, I think, on YouTube of Gregory Hines and Sammy Davis, I believe, tapping with a couple of other tap greats in history. And we just like to celebrate Tap Day, and there's an annual Tap Day. I don't know the exact date, but yeah, it's still out there, and if you look hard enough, you can find some really good old tap stuff.
Love it. Love it. So you started at the age of 2 and kind of fell in love with that. And I would imagine, obviously, you taught for many years.
Yes,
And I would imagine that takes a good bit of, when I think of that, I think of patience. You got to be very patient. And, you know, I'm one of these people, I was not blessed with a lot of patience. So it's kind of like someone asked me how to do something and I watch them for 30 seconds and kind of try to show them. And then I'm like, move out of the way. Let me,
Yeah.
you know,
That's what
Guilty.
be doing.
I'm guilty.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably took a lot of patience for you, and you must be blessed with that, I would imagine.
I mean, I think I'm the
Except
one-
when it comes to
yeah. Well, no, he'll lose it before I do. But you know, I think out of the 4 of us, I'm probably the one with the most patience. So I mean, I'm talking about our sons, Zachary and Braden. They seem to have taken Danny's patience avenue. I'm usually just kind of, it's going to be okay, but you know.
Yeah,
But
excellent.
She says that now.
She says that now. That's right.
don't mess.
So you moved right along. You were dancing, all that sort of stuff. You graduate high school, and your mother thought it was important that you go to college, and you kind of tried that.
Right.
And you were you loved hair too. It wasn't just
Yeah.
dance that you loved. You loved hair.
Right.
Tell me about that.
My best friend from high school, Charity, her mom, Miss Barbara, had a salon in her front yard, and we would just hang out in there all the time, like all the time. We were rarely ever in her house. We were always just go hang out in the shop. Of course, Mom drugged me to beauty salons my whole life. I remember the first one I went to, they still had cigarette ashtrays in the dryer chair.
Oh, wow.
So I'm showing my age. I am really showing my age. But I wanted to go to beauty school right out of high school, and Mom had said, you don't want to stand on your feet all day. You're going to tear your back up. You need to go to college. And I went to college for a little while.
Yeah.
But when I was 37, all of a sudden I just made a decision when I was at my mom's. I was like, I'm going to start beauty school in the fall. And I started in that November and graduated a little over a year after that.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah. And loved it, obviously, from the start, considering you own a business now and, well, 2 businesses, but one specifically for beauty and some other things that we're going to discuss.
Right.
So your first salon, that was Blondie Bourgeois Salon.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, well, we were still, I guess Zach was still in middle school. Braden was in elementary school. And I had been a stay-at-home mom. And so the one luxury of being a hairdresser is you can kind of set your schedule around your kids and your family. So Danny went and got me one of those little pop-up things.
Right here from the Portable and Antique Village.
Yeah.
Yes.
Portable buildings.
Yes.
It's like a little shell of a building, and then you have to like fix the inside of it. But it was a 1-seat shop. I did that for probably about 7 or 8 years, and I kept saying we were like steel magnolias and Truvies. I mean, you just, anything went in there. You could talk about anything. You could kick your feet up, let your hair down, and we just did good hair in there. And
I could only imagine the conversations that go on in a hair salon. I mean, it's got to be, you probably know as much as their priest and everybody else about them.
You do. I'm still young in my hairdress career, not young personally, but young in my hairdresser career. And I've had quite a few life-changing, conversations in my chair. So, you kind of act like a therapist sometimes. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. And you obviously enjoy it, and it's been a life love for you, actually.
Yeah, the little ladies that I used to take care of. Now that's where you get your stories.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Working in a retirement home, nursing home facility, salons, I had another lady who did that, who once told me it was a ministry, because you do it for very little money. But it's the relationships and the things that they tell you and things like that. That's where you really get your blessing.
I can imagine.
Yes,
A beautiful thing, really beautiful thing. Now, you're moving right along in life, and you got all this. And in between this time, you must have met this guy right here.
Right.
Fell in love at first sight.
No.
He sang to you, and you were like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
She did not like it.
No, it took us a year. It took us a whole year because he's
You want me to slide that story in real quick?
if you have time.
I have time. So it was funny. My brother owns a Pelican drafting service, house plans and all that. And I was in real estate at that time. This was in 92.
Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
So I'd go over there and get coffee.
Yeah.
So I did like everybody else, walk right past the receptionist and go get me a cup of coffee. Brother owns the business. I figured I got a little leadway here.
Yeah, that's right.
She was on the phone. So I walked by her and I said, hey, how you doing? And I went on in, got my coffee. Man, she was right under my elbow. And I said, she looked at me. She said, who are you here to see? And I was like, okay. Just tell me which one's my brother. And I put the coffee pot down and I walked in Ronnie's office. I said, Ronnie, who's the new guard out front? She walked in Ronnie's partner's office and said, who's the new out front?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So then we started going to lunch. Ronnie and I and his partner Greg, we always went to lunch on Fridays. And, of course, Daren would go, and it just kind of took off
Went
from there.
Yeah.
Put that charm on her.
Put that charm. That's it. That's it. It was like Novocaine, a slow process, but it always works.
He was singing to me. He would call me on the phone, and he would sing to me, and you've heard him sing.
Oh, yeah. I fell in love with him when he sang.
Love you, Jim.
Very good. Very good. So y'all are rocking right along after that. And we want to mention, you have we're going to talk about Avenue first here.
Yeah.
So Avenue Allure is located in the Antique District.
Yes, sir.
And you have been going on a little while, and you were an instructor. Mm-hmm. You're an instructor as well.
So get to teach, but
yeah,
got that in my gun belt.
That's right. A little bragging rights. I mean, that's a great thing. And so you took that you took hair full circle.
Right.
Another interesting thing about you is that you handle the hair for the 13th Gate.
Yes, so just a little plug for the #1 haunted house in Louisiana.
Yes.
So,
Numero uno.
yeah, they are. And just, I mean, yeah, this is going to be my 10th year, and I applied for it when I was still a student in beauty school, and it was literally just a Facebook ad, do you like to do hair? Do you like to do makeup? We would like to, have you on our team. And I showed up with just pictures of mannequins. I didn't have a lot of updos because I was still a student, and so most of the work that I submitted at my interview was mannequin heads, and I guess that was creepy enough for them, so they hired me.
BJ Pawn and Gun in Denham Springs wants to buy your unwanted gold jewelry, gold coins, and gold bullion. With 30 years of experience operating in the Livingston Parish area, BJ Pawn wants to be your source when selling your gold. So stop by BJ Pawn today for a no-obligation offer. BJ Pawn, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. That was perfect.
It was, but since then I've gone back to a couple of beauty schools and given classes on how I do my updos. There's actually a formula for zombie hair. I don't think people understand that, but there really is. I have this little formula I put together, and it makes their hair last. And so, yeah, this will be my 10th year. It's
Love
fun.
it. It's amazing. And, you are really, that kind of makes you the updo master. I mean, you
I don't know about all
dominate
that.
the updo.
I don't know about all that, but if people think that about me, well, then I'm incredibly flattered and honored that you feel that way. But
Says the guy with no hair.
Well, I mean, I can
It's a
tell
formula.
you.
That's right.
There's a guy there that I don't know if he's going to be on the billboards this year, but if you've ever seen the creepy clown there, he has no hair.
Yeah.
And he has little suction cups with really weird-looking little hair attachments, and we stick them on his head, and he does this thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, he's I think they call him Dimples or something. But
Dimple.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy, but I don't know if he'll be back. I'm not sure. So. But we can do
Creepy
things with
clowns.
bald hair.
Yeah. Well, there
With no
you go.
hair.
So the interesting thing about your updos, and especially as it relates to the 13th Gate, is the 20 minutes you really have to do these updos in between performances, you call them.
Right.
And then even more interesting than that, they have to hold for like 5 hours in like
right.
heat, humidity, all of that stuff. So
right.
good luck figuring out how to do that without Blondie Bourgeois.
Well, you just have to. Well, one thing that I learned from Miss Francis at Denham Springs Beauty College, another little plug for my alma mater, is
Yes.
you got to tease it and pack it. You got to tease it and pack it. So we tease and we pack and we spray, and it'll stay. I can make it stay.
Love it. So Avenue Allure, which we're working our way back to, it is in
sir.
the Antique District.
Yes, sir.
What was the building before it was Avenue Allure?
It was Kelly Hennessy's The Glass Slipper.
Yeah.
Even just about a day ago, I was telling someone about it, and they were like, wasn't that Kelly Hennessy's old place, The Glass Slipper? And I'm like, yeah. So that's what the building is famous for.
Yes, and it's a beautiful building. It's right there on the corner. Let me tell you, folks, I went in there, checked it out. It has the best view in Denham Springs from where it is. You're looking out on the train station. You can see the water tower in the background, just everything you would want. So how fortunate to be able to look out on.
I never saw that coming.
Yeah, yeah. What a crazy where life brings you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You think you can't do something, but all of a sudden you can.
That's right. That's right. And it's important to mention that Avenue Allure doesn't just do hair. A lot of different things in there. They got some beautiful clothing in there, so it's a boutique of sorts, and some pretty cool shoes in there. I actually saw a pair. I told my wife, you need to go get that.
I got some on right there.
Yeah, there you go. Cute boots.
Thanks.
it's not just hair. You do makeup?
Yes. All of the stylists there pretty much will do makeup. I've kind of stepped away from it, but they all have those talents, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get big enough, I can hire a hair and makeup person from.
Well, give us a call because we would love to.
Yeah. So just a really beautiful facility. Tell me about all the services y'all offer over at Avenue.
Yeah, we have 6 stylists there. I'm going to just go ahead and name them. We have Stephanie, we have Hope, we have Morgan, we have Betty who manages it. We have Miss Kristen, and we have me, and then my god baby, Carmen, runs the front desk. Excuse me. And we do full service hair, makeup. We are really starting to make a name for ourselves in extensions. And you can get like facials there, all the makeup you need done. I mean, just anything you want to get done in a salon or like a day spa, you can get done there. We can't do anything that breaks the skin. We can't like do barber things and shave people. Now my son is in barber college right now, so in about a year we'll have a barber in there who'll be able to blade shave. But so
he can shave a balloon without popping.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Yeah.
I always wanted to get a straight razor shave on my head. I just take a Bic to it every night.
It works.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. So it's really a one-stop shop for all things beauty. Is a good way to sum that up. It is absolutely beautiful. It's in the historic part of Denham Springs, which is, that's hard to beat, period. And you opened this business here at Avenue Allure in 2018?
Right, yeah. So Betty was going to be with me in the backyard. And I knew that she wouldn't be able to build the clientele she needed. So we started looking for a place, and she kept saying, man, wouldn't it be great if we got the glass slipper, And I was like, man, we're never going to be able to afford that, And her mom had actually called in January and spoke with the landlord, Mr. Tom, and she was like, yeah, for y'all starting out, that's going to be a little out your price range. But Danny and I went back in April of that same year, and when we called, Mr. Tom was ready to kind of work with us. And so, I mean, literally it was kind of a Cinderella story. We got the glass slipper, and we moved in and opened up like a month later. So.
Amazing. And I could not really compliment you anymore on your choice of building. And the location is just hard to beat, even just from a convenience standpoint. It's right in the heart of Denham. I mean, right there. So go check them out for all of those things they just mentioned. And I do want to say, I want to actually read this off because you said it better than I ever could. So I asked you about Avenue and kind of your key to success there, and you said the key to success is absolutely my team.
Right.
My future daughter-in-law is the most successful young lady I've ever met, and she's only 22.
Yep.
She runs the salon because I spend so much time at Serenity. Now, you're someone that always kind of credits other people. I noticed throughout reading your questionnaire, which speaks to your character, right?
And I didn't get here on my own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here now. And I mean, that goes, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to. I mean, the lights are on me right now, but you can tell I'm kind of uncomfortable about that. And if it would have been up to me, I'd have brought everybody from Serenity and everybody from the salon.
I know you would have.
But so Betty, when I first met her, she was just sweet and a little quiet and shy, and I hope she realizes that as much as she and I kind of pick at each other, I am wishing that I would have been half the woman that she is when I was her age. She is just amazing, amazing, focused and kind, and just so incredibly talented.
Yeah. Now, Dan, let me ask you, that during this time, let's take it back to where she was looking for a location for that salon. You were involved in this, obviously, heavily.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of that location? Were you like, man, this is perfect? Or were you like, eh?
No, it was good. We looked at a couple of venues. I poured a bunch of concrete in the old Blondie Bourgeois shop at home, so we had an extra driveway, and it just got crowded. I'd come home from work, nowhere to park, I told her, and then Betty was graduating, which Betty is our future daughter-in-law, near future. she needed a place in there too. So I started looking at the salon, and I said, 2 chairs, let's go take a ride.
Yeah.
So we jumped in the Jeep. We took a ride around. We looked at a couple other places on 16.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God we were riding in the Antique Village. And I asked Daren, I said, didn't y'all try the old glass slipper, you know? And she said, yeah, we went and looked at it, so let's go look at it again. So we pulled up, sat there between the whistle stop and the salon. And we sat there and we stared at it for a little while. I said, call the number. Call Mr. Tom. Let's talk to him. Let's get him here. So he came in, opened the door, the leopard skin carpet, Aerosmith all on the floor. You know? So, and that's why I told her, I said, baby, I said, whatever it takes, this is what, I mean, that's how much faith I have in Daren. I mean, anything she does, she puts her heart into it, as you can see a lot of the stuff we're doing. So whenever she does that, I don't have any fear that one day I'll retire. I'll be a maintenance man, but I'll retire.
Right. So, well, that's fun work, though, isn't it? And it's good to have this handy guy by your side when the electricity starts sparking or something.
We keep knocking the pipes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we'll be in the middle of shampooing, and the garbage cans are right under the sinks, and you'll knock the pipe loose, and then water just goes everywhere. And we're like, can you come fix this?
So I built all kind of barriers, but them ladies, I'll use ladies, they go around the barriers and just knock stuff loose. Yeah, so
he does. He fixes
I'm the maintenance
everything.
man. So.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah. There you go. We're gonna call you Bookman from. Get you a tool belt.
I was watching that yesterday. I was like, I love that show.
People, young folks are probably trust me.
Man,
that's from our
show.
generation.
Good times.
That's right. So check out Avenue Allure if you haven't had the opportunity yet. What a beautiful shop there, right there in the Antique District. Now I want to provide a little bit more of a focus on Serenity.
Right.
Went in there and I was absolutely blown away. Folks, when I tell you it is absolutely beautiful in there, not only is it beautiful, not only is it laid out the way you would want it to be regardless of the venue that you're trying to promote. For example, if you're a band or you're a high school band of some sort that wants to go there and play instruments, and you want to do a concert, I guess you would call it. Right. It's great for that. If you have a wedding, it's great for that.
Right.
Bar mitzvah, no problem.
We can do it.
You name it, they can make it. Heck, if you just want to have a party, they're going to party with you and they're going to make it right. But it is 15,000 square feet of fun right down the road from Avenue Allure, right before Watson. On the left-hand side, if you're coming in from Denham, you will find events at Serenity. So I want to read, this is I'm going to be quoting this lady often in this show. And the reason is, when I asked her to fill out a questionnaire, she was extremely thorough with it, extremely well written. And there's a lot of important things that only she could really say. So I'm going to quote something you said about Serenity.
Right.
When I asked you about that, you said Serenity is the little business that could. When we opened Serenity in 2016, key date, folks, we renovated an old pizza kitchen for 3 months. We had our grand opening party the Saturday before the flood, and then we got over 2 feet of water in the building. So the Saturday before the flood, folks. Talk about the highest of high and the lowest of lows, right? My business partner at that time got about 7 feet of water in her house and her car was destroyed. She had to relocate to a family member's house across town. Right. I told her that since our house didn't flood, we would take care of the studio cleanup so she could focus on her home. Right. Again, character tells you what kind of people these are. It took 3 months, which was a blessing. We were able to open in December of 2016. Business started to pick up and we were doing really well. Then a bar opened up 2 doors down that caused our families not to feel secure. Now, this is prior to the location they're at now. Right. During night classes. We moved to another site in the same building in 2019. Things improved a bit, but another bar went right across the street. Right. And not that they have anything against bars. It's just these are young kids going from dance class and stuff, and it's just a different atmosphere than what would blend. So it was obviously something you were very concerned about.
Yes.
We just focused on making sure the kids were safe when they came in and left and stayed locked up. I was teaching one night in February of 2020 when Danny came in and told me my mom had a stroke and a heart attack. We rushed to Monroe where she was in the hospital. Danny and I were able to be there when she passed 10 days later. COVID was just starting to hit the news, but wasn't rampant yet. 2 weeks later, my business partner, who was a mom, decided she needed to focus her time on her family about 2 weeks after that. I knew if we closed, the kids we were teaching would have nowhere to go and register late in the season and still not be able to be in a spring show. So I hired staff, and we decided to keep going and not quit. That's kind of like your theme in life for both of y'all, right? Don't quit.
No.
Don't quit.
Look, you were getting thrown some serious just parts of life that you had to deal with all at the same time. This is, hopefully this stuff gets spread out, and in your case, it was just one thing after the other.
Really. Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer in God doesn't give us anything we can't handle.
Yeah.
And your attitude of don't quit was a big part of why you were able to kind of persevere through that. But you eventually moved from that.
We did.
And you went into Serenity, where I was talking about, which is down the road. What did it used to be? Everybody says it used to be. They always say, is that the old something building?
Yeah,
what was
the Live Oak Supermarket.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
the original Live Oak Supermarket next to Paradise Pools.
Yes.
And then Freedom Church bought the property, and then Celebration bought the property from Freedom. I think that's how it worked out.
Gotcha.
But it's been vacant for what?
I don't know.
3-4 years
It was
prior
vacant for a little while.
to us coming in.
Okay. Good deal. So you're there now, and I'm sure a lot of work for you, Dan. Right?
Let's rewind for a sec. So from the old building to this new building, there again, the Jeep has really saved us on the rides. Because I told Daren, let's go take a ride. And it's funny, when we go take a ride, her and I will go out there and just find locations. Well, we passed by there again where the event center is now, and we looked at it, and I told Daren, what about this place? Well, we talked to him, and it's the same MO as Avenue Allure.
Yeah.
So we made another call, and there was a lady, Miss Carrie.
Carrie Efferson.
Carrie Efferson, who's with Covington Realty, right?
Yeah.
So Miss Carrie walked in with us, showing us the place. And Daren and I were just trying to get the vision, right? And she kept
Massive.
saying over and over, if someone had the vision, the vision, the vision.
Yeah.
So Daren came up with a great idea, and she said, hey, Miss Carrie, if we give the church $250, let us walk the place on a Sunday by ourselves and lay out the vision. And that's kind of where we're at now. So
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
I mean,
she's awesome.
I'll give you a little money, put some money on the line, and if I can just hang out in your building for a couple hours, maybe I can come up with the vision.
Yeah.
And
Well, you had a
It
great
was awesome.
vision there with the, one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning, I love the layout. It's just, it flows very well, regardless of what type of event you're having there. But you did a really cute thing when you eventually moved in with your students that were at your previous facility.
Right.
Tell us about that.
So they were pretty much learning virtually because we knew that our June show wouldn't happen, so we were going to have to move it to August. And so the staff was still like videoing and adding to their choreography, and we would upload it to YouTube. So we hadn't seen them in a couple of months. And so the first thing we did was I had told staff, hey, I need you to meet me at this place. We're talking about renting it for our August show. I mean, I'd like y'all to kind of look at it and see what you think. And so we took them in one by one. It was Mallory, Michaela, and Dalen, and Carmen. I don't know if I think Carmen just knew. She's practically family. And then Crystal had interviewed there. But anyway, Danny caught him on video, and we would be on stage, and I'd be like, so what do you think about this room? What do you think about the stage? Do you think this is big enough? And blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, well, what if we just made this our home? And you got all of their reaction.
Yeah. It was like, do what?
So we decided to kind of do the same thing for our students. You know, they were all down. They weren't in school. Summer vacation was coming up. They didn't even know if they were going to be able to go on vacations, things like that. The show was being postponed. And so we sent them on a scavenger hunt. And all they had to do was they had to like figure out these little clues, and it would lead them to different landmarks like Home Depot, Walmart, Yellow Jacket Stadium, and they would have to take a picture of like a selfie in front of each location, I think, to find the next clue. And so once they did that, the final clue said, you know, the address of the new building. And so we were standing out front, and they would just drive up, and, you know, some of them had their mask on and some of them didn't. And I'm like, well, this is your new home. And we gave them like little gifts and things that said like, you know, popcorn, thanks for popping by our new home, things like
cute.
that. And so, yeah, Crystal had gotten all of those pictures and everything. And it was a really cool way to do it.
They were excited,
Yes.
to say the least.
Yeah,
And I'm
they
sure
were.
you were as well.
It was amazing because the thing is that, you know, where we were was right at 2,000 square feet, and, you know, everything was maintained 6 feet distance. You couldn't do that. You'd had a class of 3 in our
Yeah.
old location. But in the new location, you know, we had all this room to spread out. And so I think, you know, we managed to make it through last year. I don't think, but maybe 1 or 2 little two families may have reported that they had gotten COVID, but our studio pretty much steered clear of it, and it's just because we do have so much room. Yes, knock on wood, and thank you, Jesus. But there's just so much room in there, so the kids are able to spread out. You know,
Yes.
it's hard to keep them apart. You know, like I walked out the other day, and they were all like talking, and it was the level 3 students, and I was like, come on now, you know, we got to spread out. But you know, that's having that much room is really a blessing.
Yes, it really is. And you can, you know, there's nothing worse than growing in your business and really outgrowing where you're at. And you don't have that problem where you're at. That's a great thing. Especially, you know, hopefully after this show, you'll fill up all 15,000 square feet.
Well,
that's
that
what,
was nice.
that's what
We
I'm praying
appreciate
for.
it. Thank you so much.
So you know, one of the things I noticed when I went there, it was the layout. And I want to mention this, you know, weddings and receptions and things like that are things that can be performed at Serenity, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
One of the great things is you have an interesting way in which the groom and the bride cannot run into each other no matter what.
no.
Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. So we took one of the rooms and turned it into what we call like a little bridal suite. Danny really made it really nice in there. He made like a fireplace setup, and we've got some antique furniture in there, and
So cute.
it's really cute, and it's right next door to our little salon. So if they needed to go in there and get their hair done, they could, and their makeup. But it's a nice size room with a refrigerator in there, changing area, and it's just really, really cute. And then if you were to go out and then left, there's 2 closed double doors that go to the back offices, and there's a really long hallway. In that back area is 2 entrances to the stage. So we put one of the rooms back there. Danny calls it the green room for the bands and stuff.
Of course you do.
I call it the groom's room, but it's just a nice, long, you know, room. It's really quiet, private. TV, refrigerator, a couple of couches, a foosball table.
Yes.
And and you know, the good thing is there's enough room in that back hallway to where the groomsmen can step out into the hallway, and we've got racks for them to hang their stuff. And so they pretty much have that whole back area. And then there's no way with those doors closed that the bride and the groom will ever run into each other. He can get completely onto the stage for the ceremony from the back, and she can walk around the hallway into the front, and they completely stay away from each other.
Yeah, amazing. And just a nice perk that you don't necessarily get everywhere. Sometimes, you know, people do run into their significant other before the wedding, and maybe it wasn't laid out quite right, or you know, things just happen. But
Right.
this will alleviate that almost to zero possibility
Right,
of
it
that
does.
happening. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When I went by, I heard a guy was playing that guitar when I walked in. So Dan has a band, and they rehearse in the grand room. Is it the grand room?
The Grand Hall, yeah.
The Grand Hall. They rehearsed there, and I walked in at the right time, boy, because he was picking on that guitar, and I'm like, oh, what did I just walk in on? And they were doing a little band practice. But when I walked in that room, the interesting thing that I noticed was the lighting on the stage. The stage, folks, is big. It can accommodate 40 to 50 people on that stage. So let's say you had a ensemble band that you were wanting to do a concert there. 40 or 50 people can get up there and play instruments and those sorts of things. And then you have the main part of that hall, and that is wide open, and they can accommodate several different types of seating. Y'all tell me about the different types of seating.
Yeah, so basically on the stage itself, it's a 38 wide by 30 deep. So, and then there's outlets throughout. Carl was from Celebration Church, was a bass player in their band.
Yeah.
And you could tell because the acoustics in that room, he really built that stage for acoustics, and it's a sound room. So on the floor itself, it's 65 feet by 65. So you can put 400 at the 8er seating.
Yeah.
You can do, give or take, with COVID, we got to spread a little bit more.
Sure.
With round table seating, you're probably at about 175, 200 spread out.
Yeah.
But you really can get about 250 at table.
Yeah. It's a big room, and it's wide open. Beautiful lighting in there. Everything is, I guess you would call it the can lighting that is flush with the ceiling.
Yeah.
And so totally updated. I mean, it just blew me away walking in there. The ceilings are probably, I don't know how many feet tall they are, but those are some high ceilings.
Yeah, that's, let's see, probably 13 foot. It's funny because I got a 12-foot ladder and I got a 10-foot ladder. And everything is within spec that the 12-foot won't fit where the 10 will.
Yeah.
But the 10 for my short self, you really need a 12.
Right.
So... But it works out well. So the lighting, most of the lighting that's on the stage that you see, Jay Dupuy is one of our Elvis tributes from this area.
Yes.
He's in Myrtle Beach now, but he will have a show for New Year's Eve. We're going to have a show for Jay.
Shout out Jay.
Shout out for Jay. Very good Elvis.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. But a lot of the backlighting was from his show that he did there last year.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, Dan, he says, I don't want to take the lights down. And I said, Jay, I don't want the lights. So I said, just leave them up. When you come back in, we'll worry about all that and wash the pricing. So all that set up, and then the front line lighting, I was able to put some more lighting up there just for the entertainment for dance,
awesome.
But also for the bands to get set up. So.
Yes, because in a little while we're going to get into all the different things that take place at this facility. If you thought it was just a concert venue, you'd be wrong. It's so many different things, and it's interesting. I had somebody not too long ago tell me, you know what we need in Livingston Parish, Jim? And I said, what's that? And he said, a performing arts facility. And guess what? We got one. We got one.
There it is.
We got one, folks.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of getting that out there and letting people know that it exists and the size of it. This building is tricky because from the outside, it doesn't look as large as it is when you get in there. Right. It is absolutely wide open. Even the I don't know what you would call it, but the first room you walk into when you open the door.
The lobby.
The lobby, thank you.
Yeah.
Lobby. How can I not think of lobby? Even the lobby is huge. I mean, and well laid out. So before we get into that, I want to read another aspect of some things that you had wrote, and that was when you talked about the large influences that you've had in your life. And you said, first of all, Jesus. So you said, I worked at Leaps and Bounds for years, and people around here for me were Leaps and Bounds. And I remember their motto was servant-style leadership.
Yeah.
Jesus came to serve, not to be served. That's what I try to do. I fall short sometimes, but it's always my intention. Couldn't agree with that more. Leadership is really all about serving others. Who knew? I thought it was about being number one for so long, competing. And
Ricky Bobby again.
Yeah. Want to be number one. Yes. So your mom, she didn't quit. She made sure I went to the best schools and put her life on hold until I married Danny. I don't have her temper, but I do have her perseverance.
Yeah.
Mom didn't quit.
No.
Even right up to the time she passed, she was still giving hand signals to me to stop worrying and crying. I miss her so much. What a sweet tribute.
Yep, she was telling me what to do, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, you are a large influence in her life. And she said, I ask him all the time, you ever get tired of wearing that cape? He's my superhero. He's seen me at my absolute worst, and he's seen me break down. He coached football for years, and he knows when I need that Coach Dan pep talk. There you go. I might call you for a pep talk every now and then. You can give me one too?
First we'll start with running laps.
Put some dirt on it and get back in the game.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah,
what he
get some
says.
dirt on it. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was very, very sweet, nice, and it goes without saying that we can't get anywhere we are in life without others, right?
No.
Amen.
And your influences in life influence you, and I used to tell my kids all the time, who you hang out with is who you become.
Yes.
You really become who you spend your time with.
That's right.
In a lot of
That's right.
ways. So be cognizant of that. But let's get to your to people you worked with. You want to give some work for and with, and you gave, of course, you're always giving others credit.
Of course.
It's just who you are. And tell me about Fred Gwynn.
Oh my goodness. So Fred Gwynn, well, if you think I'm kind of, quiet and shy now, you should have seen me when I went to work at the AG's office. So I started as their receptionist, and then they figured out that the actual section chief there did not have a secretary. So within about a year, I had become his secretary. I was there during the Derek Todd Lee scare, and I saw Fred at his worst, and I saw Fred and all of the people that worked there at their best when he finally was captured. But Fred would see me get in these dilemmas where I could not make up my mind, and Danny knows what I'm talking about. I'm the worst at having to make a decision, and so I won't use Fred's exact words, but because sometimes they were not
Colorful.
made for radio. But I was struggling over a decision. He was like, I need you to make a command decision. And that was one of those life-changing things. I was like, it's just so simple, make a command decision. And I was like, it just stuck with me. So, when I get in those dilemmas, I just hear Fred in my mind saying, Daren, you just got to make a command decision. You got to do it. So
Amazing.
yeah, he worked for the governor's office, I think, for a little while, Secretary of State's office. But he's retired now and really involved at his church. So
Amazing. Tell us about Piper.
oh my goodness. So Miss Piper. So her mom, I think I had put in there. I don't even know if her mom knows how much of an influence she is on me, but
Tessa Walters.
Tessa Walters, yeah. So basically the way we got Piper was her mom is all about perseverance herself, and she had called around just about every dance studio in Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas, and she would ask them, do you have a program for my child? And I think the response, she goes, absolutely, how old is she? Oh, she's 7, blah, blah, blah. And so, of course, they were really into the cell. And then she would be like, okay, well, does it matter if she's in a wheelchair? And I think the response that Miss Tessa got was, although we're sympathetic to that, I don't know if we're going to be equipped to teach a child that is in a wheelchair. And so she kept telling me, let me back up a little bit. So there's an actual program out there. If you go on Instagram, you can find it. It's a little group called A Chance to Dance, and you'll see a class full of children in wheelchairs dancing. And so I remember I was following their Instagram, and I was like, wow, that is just great. I love that. And then, ironically, that phone call came through. And so Piper, kind of a celebrity around here. She's been taking pictures with the girls that dress up and be all the Disney princesses.
Yes.
I think they called her and sung Happy Birthday to her a couple of weeks ago. She's very Miss Special Louisiana. I think she's won that title. And so she comes and gets her hair cut from me, and it's a about hitting a moving target because she doesn't like to sit still.
Yeah.
But I'll always say, Piper, do I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down? And this has been going on for a few years, and I finally got my thumbs up this year.
All right.
Yeah, so, because she'll give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But anyway, so basically what she does is she would come into class, and we have Miss Marissa, who has been teaching with me, teaching her for the last couple of years. And we've had some other students like Asana and Monty, they've also assisted. But anyway, basically you just put on a song that she likes, which when she first started with us was Let It Go with Frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the little girls just love that song. But what we did was we would just teach her, like the basic little moves. She knows how to plie. She knows how to piqué. She recognizes those words, and we had a box of a shred box full of just those giblets of paper that come out of a shredder, you know, and we used it for the snow part. And so she knew if she would get through the dance at the very end, we would take that box of those shreds out. And I mean, you couldn't even hand it to her without her just fast pitching it at you. And so like snow would go everywhere, but her parents would stay. And as soon as the class was over, her dad, Mr. George, would sweep all up. And so we would do that dance probably over and over and over for an hour. And when it was time for her mom to put her back in her wheelchair, because she was in a gait trainer, which helps her stand. But when it was time for her mom to put her back in her wheelchair, I mean, you've seen those children, they just like, lose it and just completely devastated that she had to go home. And so her mama told me, I knew someone would find a way. There had to be a way. And so we found the way.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, I can't even add to that, people. That's just amazing. And I'm glad she found you.
I'm glad she did too. She has impacted that whole business, that whole family over there. In the way that we teach things and design things and do things, we're just waiting for her to come back. As soon as COVID, she has a, problem with just a regular cold.
Sure.
It'll compromise her, her breathing and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll get
come back
better soon.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, they miss you over there, Piper, if you're listening. Now, leaders give back, right? They give back to their community, they give back, and you're no exception. Y'all do all kinds of things for the community. Of course, Dad at Denham right here, which is an amazing organization, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's. You also are the entertainment chairman for Immaculate Conception.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
For the Fair Association there, which I enjoy every year. Love the Immaculate Conception Fair. You obviously are part of iTrade Exchange. Right. I believe y'all are a member of the Chamber.
The studio is a member of the Chamber.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. You're obviously certified cosmetology instructor, as we mentioned earlier, and you do all the wonderful things like you just mentioned in Piper's case, and just a beautiful people here. Now, Serenity, let's talk about the services. We're finally getting around to these services because y'all do so many things there, so many possibilities. When I was there, I'm thinking, I could do this here, I could do that. I'm like talking her ear off about, look, I got a friend, he does this. Right. We can, all those sorts of things. Because honestly, I was not prepared for what I saw. I was thinking it would be just average size and it would be a nice place. I did not realize it was like awesome. Yeah. But it was. So I'm going to read what you said about the services and then we'll kind of break them down. You said, obviously y'all do all things performing arts, dance, vocal, acting lessons, folks. Yeah. My daughter came to me like a year and a half ago and she said, or it might have been a year ago, it might have been last year. And she says, I want to be an actress. And I said, oh. And I'm thinking, you do realize you're in Livingston Parish, Louisiana. And I said, well, that's great. But what do you want to be besides an actress? I want to be an actress. And I said, well, Yeah, but do you have something you fall back on just in case, that whole acting thing doesn't work out? And so she does, but I did not realize there was a place you could do acting lessons.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Event rentals such as weddings and parties, obviously y'all do. Corporate events, here's another thing. So if you want to host a corporate event there, they can more than easily accommodate that. They have a theater and a ballroom, which can accommodate 400 people, I guess you would say, in non-COVID atmospheres, and another that will hold about half that. If you add tables and chairs, the space accommodations go down a little bit. Right. So if it's banquet seating, obviously they do. Mm-hmm. But now, question.
Yes.
Do y'all supply the tables and chairs and all those sorts of
do.
things?
Yes,
okay.
we do. Mm-hmm.
That was probably a stupid question, but I actually was wondering that. And I was like, I wonder if you have to bring your own chairs.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
There's a salon on site, and this is something I saw. It literally a salon. It's got the chairs and the shampoo stuff and all that on site. So if you're a bride and you want to do everything from the hair and makeup to the wedding, the reception, and all in one spot, it exists. And it exists right here in Livingston Parish. There's a bridal room and a groom room, as we talked about, and 2 multi-purpose rooms with mirrored walls. There's large guest lobbies to keep everyone safe during this time. They offer preschool and after-school programs.
Not after school, not yet.
After school,
we're
not
trying
yet.
to. We need to get the plans. So while we're on the subject, if anybody knows how I can get the plans to that building,
there you
let
go.
us know. They were lost in the flood, and everywhere you call, they don't have them.
Really?
I'm serious.
I might know someone that can help.
Thank
with that.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
I
have
can't
to
do
check
anything
after the show.
after school. We wanted to do a little Mother's Day out with about 5 kids for just a couple hours a day, which you can do, but like to really get an after school or a preschool or anything like that, you have to go through their fire marshal, and you can't do that if you don't have the plans. And the plans were lost in the flood, so can't find them.
Wow. Gotcha.
Yep.
I might can help with that.
Thank
We'll
you.
see after the show.
All right.
What is your slogan? You said, be wonderful.
Oh, well, at Avenue Allure, we were trying to figure out what our slogan would be, and there is a scripture in the Bible that says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And so me and Betty and her mom, Miss Jeannie, just thought that would be a really sweet tagline for us. And so when you go to the salon, most women and gentlemen walk out feeling wonderful. You feel better than you did when you walked in, and I couldn't have figured a better way to describe what we do there.
Love it. Love
Thanks.
it. That's a great, be wonderful. I mean, that's
be
just
wonderful.
awesome. So you referenced, one thing that's intriguing is you opened up Serenity initially in 2016. Of course, we discussed the flood. You had to revamp and kind of move forward. But prior to that, you referenced Steve Harvey's jump speech that he made.
Right.
So you and I share something in common.
Yeah.
Because that was a big part of why I retired from my previous job and did this full time after having it as kind of a side hustle for so long. That is one of the most beautiful speeches anyone has ever made, as far as, and this was like during Family Feud, and I guess a commercial break, and he was just talking, and Steve Harvey, wow, that if you have not heard that, I'm going to link that to the description of this video, and maybe it'll help someone else out there that is debating between whether or not they should go for their dream, which is what I consider that jump speech. Absolutely amazing. So we talked about defining a leader, and it's all about service, and we talked about that earlier. Of course, me and Dan, being ex-football guys, we thought it was about being first for a long time.
Win.
Yeah, that's right. Win. That's a leader. Yeah, and it is service. Service is really the key there. Now, I want to talk some about your classes that you offer at Serenity. And it's interesting in that they have some great handouts there, folks. If you want to stop by and get some handouts, or you can go online. I'm sure they have all that information posted. But they break this up into levels. Tell us about your levels.
So we have WEs, which are 2 and 3 year olds, or the early 3-year-olds. Those are mommy and me classes, where we ask mom to be in the class and she can participate, or dad, who to participate as much as they want to, or sometimes they just hang out and make sure that they're not running away and things like that.
Sure.
But we do little dance classes and tumbling classes for them, and they're themed. So we have a princess week and a superhero week and things like that. You have your tinies, which are your older 3s through, I want to say, 6-year-olds or 5-year-olds. And then it's kind of the same thing, but they don't have to have their moms and dads in there. Same thing, tumbling and dance. And then when you get to level 1, you can start getting in towards the acting portion of it. So level 1 is 6 to 9-year-olds. So the sky is the limit for them, except for vocal. Do you have level 1 vocals?
I think we just put them all together. My youngest are 7 years old.
He usually says they need to be able to read, and so
Not necessarily on a read. It's
or at least know the song really well.
Yeah, if they're too young, 5-year-olds and all that, you're really not. But once they get to that transition of 6 to 7, and I got some 7-year-olds this year that are strong singers. They blow your mind. It's like, my God, this baby's only 7, and so. We don't really call it a level 1, but I do adjust the class down to the level 1 status, if you will.
Yeah,
awesome.
Didn't know if you knew that he teaches the vocal there.
I did not, but it's no surprise.
Giving back again,
Giving back again.
30-minute private lessons. Yeah, he teaches about
I'll
4
be
hours.
there at 9 o'clock.
There you go. You got some Johnny Cash for you, right?
That's right.
But then I put them I put them on the big stage, because a lot of the kids, when they come in, they're looking for a small room to sit in to hide. I like putting them on that big stage, because once you get that fear out of them, then it's over. And these kids, it's amazing when you see them in an audience with crowds singing up there by themselves, lighting up the world. And it's our future, right?
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And, you offer ballet, tap, jazz, acting, tumbling, acro. Right?
Yeah, we've noticed that this last year, our I can give another plug, our award-winning Serenity project competition team. We noticed when they went to competitions this year that tumbling is really starting to be a focus in dance now. It used to be kind of just a cheerleading thing, but now it's all over the dance world. And so we have a new lady who has joined us. Her name is Miss Delaney. She has a fantastic, history in tumbling, and so she is going to be teaching our tumbling classes. And it's mostly not what you would expect to see, like a cheerleader or a gymnast do. That's not what we're about. We just want them to be able to do certain tricks that they can add, like an aerial or
Love it.
Yeah, things like that in their dances.
Fantastic. And Dan, you also teach the hip hop classes, is that
exactly, correct? Yeah. I mean, hammer time.
Does Michaela know that?
Hammer time. Hammer.
So that's one that I wish I could have brought in the studio, is our lovable, fabulous Miss Michaela, who does all things hip hop. And I can tell you, she is the families and the students are just absolutely blessed and love her so much. I think you need to come back by and meet her, because it's an experience you will never forget.
I would love to.
She would have lit this room up if she could have been here, but yeah, she's great.
Well, we can have her next time.
Yeah, so you can have a whole show with Michaela. Yeah, she's a mess.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so you've got some specials, and I'm actually kind of digging through them here, some, I guess you call them specials, but some discount stuff. Do you know any of those off the top?
So I believe now through the end of the year, all of our rentals, if they are at a package situation, you can take $100 off, because we're just about full. I've actually had to turned somebody away for December already for a wedding because they had a hard date, and most of our dates in December are starting to go. So to fill some of those empty days, we're trying to give a little discount here and there. Of course, we would give military discounts, absolutely, at the salon if you book with me, and I'm pretty sure the girls wouldn't have a problem with that either. But military discounts, are always in effect. And,
yes.
Let me think. You're gonna have to
You
help
got
me.
some things
You got
coming
me
up.
on the spot.
You've got a kickoff football season party coming up if you're a Yellow Jacket, right?
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Next
so I
weekend.
don't know where we're at
It's
with
all
the show.
things purple and gold. We were trying
It'll be before.
Okay, awesome.
It'll be
Next Saturday at Serenity.
at Serenity. Come celebrate purple and gold.
Purple and gold, yeah. My
Whether you're
band's
LSU or Yellow Jackets or both, like I am.
Yeah.
Go.
You can come out there. It's $15 a person for tickets, and you will have the best music you've ever heard in your life playing. They're gonna have a cash bar, and all that. You can dance the night away and learn some hip hop from Dan while you're there. Or, excuse me,
Oh my
Michaela.
gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
We've
I'll
got
give you a little
some,
bit of hip hop, but that's about it. My hip will pop.
I love it.
Yeah, we've got some local vendors that'll be there.
Yes.
I know that like Amy with Addiction Boutique,
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, one of our teachers there, does hand painted art, and there's some other local businesses that'll be there to get everybody purple and gold ready. They've got, there's
Love
gonna be
it.
out in the lobby and in the hallway.
Yeah, and we love local, and that I'm glad you brought that up. That would be another good use for that Serenity Event Center is if you're a trade show of some sort.
Right.
Could even handle that. I mean, there's plenty of room there to set up booths and
We
and do
did
trade
something
shows.
called Merry Little Market last year. It was on Small Business Saturday, and
Love
a
it.
friend of mine named Marcy, she put that together, and I'm kind of hoping she will this year. But it was about 30 vendors were
Wow.
in there, and
more than that,
that was if you go back, that was right after the governor came back on and said we're going back to phase 2, and so we were like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to cancel it, or whatever. But people did, they wore their mask, or we kept people spread out, and it was, from the vendors' perspective, it was a pretty successful event.
Very good. So another thing to consider.
Yeah, that's one thing that we put together for this purple and gold dance is that just because of COVID, you want to make sure not too many people are going to dance. So
yeah.
we'll set up the vendors. So it's kind of earlier in the day, the vendors will be there. They'll be there for the actual party.
Yes.
Till roughly, I think we said
I told them to be set up
9.
by 5:30.
Yeah, so they'll be in the lobby and then the large hallway down the side. So it accommodates there. And then the actual party will be in Grand Hall. They're again kind of separating the two.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to come to the party, you can come do some market shopping, getting ready for football or any sport.
When I'm dancing, nobody wants to be 6 feet from me anyway.
Swing move.
Yeah.
You're gonna prove
I'm
that?
throwing
Oh,
down,
we're
I'm
gonna
doing
see
glow
you
sticks, the
Saturday.
whole
Yeah.
thing, whatever.
We're going to put you right up front, my friend. I'll put you on stage with me.
I love it.
Yeah,
Very good. Did you have fun today?
I did. I survived.
Believe it or not, we were an hour and 5 minutes into this thing.
yeah.
And we'll have to have you on again soon. Just so much to talk about with this amazing facility. But look, folks, if you're curious about any of the services they offer there, if they can accommodate you for any service you may need from them, reach out to them. They have a Facebook. You can just search Serenity Event Center. It'll pop up, Events at Serenity. As far as Avenue Allure, the services they offer there, they also have a Facebook. Do you have websites as well?
Yes. So Avenue Allure is avenueallure.com. And Serenity is yourserenity.net.
There you go. So I'll link all of that to the description of this video as well. And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank
Great to
you.
see you again.
You too, Jim.
I want to thank everyone out there for viewing and listening to Local Leaders, a podcast. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share us on all your social media platforms as we strive to shine a spotlight on all of our local businesses. Thank you to all our sponsors, including Tricia, Johnston Realtor, BJ Pawn, Fit Blendz, Denham Springs, Planet Landscaping, Blaksheep Creative, William Waldrep of TWFG, SR Enterprise Painting, Look at Me 4D Imaging, and Milestone Title. We could not do any of this without all of you. If you would like information on sponsoring or appearing on the show, reach out to me at jim@localleadersofthepodcast.com. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, pull for the Jackets this Friday. Amen. Or the Walker Wildcats if you're from Walker. And keep leading. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Jim.